All right, it is top of the hour. We're going to start this bad boy on time. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here this evening. I know 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night is a little late, but it really speaks to your focus or your commitment to building out a revenue share organization. I'm going to do my best tonight to give you really, really important, good information that you can apply in building the organization that you desire. Folks, I'm going to ask on this call that everybody's civil. So there may be people here from other firms outside of EXP, right? I don't want to get into any type of confrontation. I want to maintain a high level of professionalism and civility on the call. And I also want to start off by thanking my business partners who've put a tremendous amount of time, effort, and resources in putting on tonight's class. We had over 400 people that registered for tonight's class. I'm going to do my very best to give you the information that you're looking for. At the end, I'll open it up for Q&A and answer any questions that you may have. So without further ado, let's get things started. So I'm going to talk about how to build an organization. Yes, I started at EXP about 6.5 years ago. Now, keep in mind, 2.5 of those years, 3 years have been in a down real estate market. My organization was as large as 3,000 agents. So I want to say something to you, and I want you to, take this to heart. The size and strength of your database, will determine the size and strength of your organization. If you are putting people in your database that are qualified and rightfully there, you will build a revenue share organization. Remember, most people look at revenue share and think of it as a hobby. Your mindset is, this is a profession. You need to dedicate time and effort to building out the organization that you'd like. I've been in the real estate sector for over 30 years. I know it shows with my gray hair, but I've been doing this for a really long time. And I can tell you flat out, there is no company like EXP. Not only are we the first cloud-based brokerage, we're publicly traded. We've got dominant market share. We're profitable almost each and every quarter. And it allows real estate agents to build wealth unlike any business or real estate platform I've seen before. I am one of the top revenue share leaders at EXP. I'm known as what you call an alpha agent, and I am the founder of Attractify.ai. Attractify was put in place because I believed I needed a roadmap. I wanted a platform that would absolutely take me down a yellow brick road and lead me to a pot of gold. So we created Attractify, and it is exactly the platform that I use to build my organization. So why most agents never build a revenue share organization? I think it's a couple of reasons here, and I'm going to get into this. Today's seminar is going to last about 60 minutes, and I'm going to open it up 15 minutes for Q&A. But why most EXP agents never build a revenue share organization? Twofold. Number one, I think that most agents nobody, not just most agents, but nobody wants to feel shamed, embarrassed, or rejected. Very often, they don't know how to approach another agent about EXP. If you are not comfortable and confident approaching another agent, how do you expect them to be comfortable and confident? What we do is we provide aids in our system to ensure that you have that comfortability and aren't afraid to approach people by either picking up the phone or meeting people face to face. So that's why I believe most people don't build revenue share organizations. Second thing is I don't think they have a game plan. I don't think that they understand how to follow up, how to nurture and cement a prospect, how to ask the right qualifying questions. I don't think there's a playbook in place for them. And I think they're standing on a starting line and have no idea how to cross that finish line. I think with those two obstacles, it's very, very challenging. And I will tell you, I think the most important thing in building a revenue share organization is mindset. I think you have to go into this with the mindset of not how successful I'm going to, if I'm going to be successful, but how successful I'm going to be. Treating the business, as I mentioned before, not as a hobby, but as a profession. Remember, what you think about will manifest itself in your life. If you think that you are going to build a successful revenue share organization, I assure you that you absolutely will. Two is the agent attraction mindset. The shift, and I talked about that just now. Mindset is such a significant part of this. I go into every conversation with the mindset of being a servant leader and simply educating somebody on the features and benefits of EXP so they, and they alone, not me pushing them, but they can make a determination if EXP aligns with the direction that they ultimately want to take their business. But I come at it from a position of strength, knowing I've got the resources of EXP behind me that provide agents multiple income streams and a level of coaching, training, support, and technology that has never, ever, ever been seen before in the industry. I embrace that and come at this with a mindset from a position of strength. Decision-driven communication. My communication, remember, less is always more. I'm all about asking questions. If you are constantly out there pushing people to join EXP and what I call throwing up all over people, you're never going to build an organization. The goal is to ask appropriate questions so you can understand what your prospects' needs and wants are and match that with the features and benefits offered by EXP. Number 4 is the essential tools. It's critical that you have these tools in place. When I say tools, what do I mean? One is what I talked about before, a script, so you can approach somebody with a high level of confidence, right? These are scripts that are put in place, not for you to sound like a robot, but put in place so you stay on path in asking the right questions so you know how to best be of service. Other tools are objection handling tools. Every time you have a conversation and you receive an objection, that's a pathway to closing that person if you know how to precisely isolate, handle, and overcome that objection. Other tools that we have and other tools that are made handy to me, and maybe the most important tool is the resources like a 15-minute EXP explainer video that clearly and concisely provides important information to your prospect. So when they are having a conversation with you, they have a good basic understanding of EXP. And of course, your next step is following up, having a precise follow-up system in place to ensure that you are never lagging in your communication with your prospect. How many of you have been at EXP for 6+ months and your revenue share organization is still at 0? And that's a question that you want to mull over. Why is that happening to your business? It's happening because you're not engaging enough people, you're not asking the right questions, and you're not building a solid database. Again, I'm going to go back to this over and over and over again. The size and strength of your database will determine the size and strength of your revenue share organization. In order to get into your database, somebody must qualify. You don't want to have a database comprised of individuals that don't belong in there. In order for somebody to be a part of my database, they must meet 3 bogeys. They have to be open-minded to potentially joining EXP. They have to commit to watching 2 videos that are part of our system. And number 3, they have to have a follow-up appointment with me so we collectively can determine if they're right for EXP and if EXP is right for them. So if you have not built an organization, do not beat yourself up. This is an opportunity to take some of the tools and systems that I'm going to talk about tonight, implement them, and get a fresh start in building going forward. You're not alone. So 3 things that are holding you back. One, as I mentioned before, typically when an agent is new to EXP or an agent has not been very successful building out a revenue share organization, they don't have a starting point. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to say it. They don't have a follow-up system. Months turn into years and people get frustrated. And that's simply because they don't have a plan in place. So don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up for this. People will say to me, alpha agents, the only difference between you and an alpha agent, they're no more talented than you are, believe it or not. They simply have a plan and they're following it. The second thing that's holding you back, and I see this more often than not, are people over-explain EXP. Could we all agree that nobody loves to be talked at? We want to be engaged with in a conversation, right? Over-explaining EXP is an absolute killer. If I asked on tonight's call, how many people have an elevator pitch, a unique value-added proposition that could clearly and concisely explain EXP in 2 minutes, how many people really have that? How many people could say to a prospect, EXP is the first cloud-based brokerage firm in the history of real estate. Not only is it publicly traded, it's been profitable almost each and every month. We're in 30 countries and have dominant market share. Being cloud-based offers two distinct benefits. The first benefit is offering our agents the highest level of coaching, training, support, and technology that the industry has ever had. I'm going to quantify that statement by saying the average agent at EXP last year sold 6.8 homes, which is the highest in the industry, according to Real Trends. The second benefit is because we're not dumping money into an office because we're cloud-based, we're not paying for salaries, rent, supplies, and furnitures. What has transpired is EXP has created multiple streams of income for our real estate professionals, providing them a level of financial stability or security that has never before existed in the industry. That is it. That is my elevator pitch. Stop over-explaining the platform. Focus on having an elevator pitch and asking appropriate questions. And number three, if you don't have a system, you have no follow-up in place. And the fortune is absolutely in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. And that has to do with your drip campaigns, your emails, your texts, anything that's going to properly assist you in nurturing and cementing that relationship with the prospect and converting them from prospect into somebody that's in your organization. So without a system, you are really shooting yourself in the foot. Let's talk about the math. So if you bring on one capping agent, that's $4,000 a year. If you bring on 10 capping agents, that's $40,000 a year in passive income. That's before they bring on anybody else. And if you bring on 25, that is 100,000. My first year, I had over 1,000 people in my organization at EXP, over 1,000 people. Folks, if you were dedicating a certain period of time to simply working on your revenue share organization, how hard would it be to bring in 10 people? That's less than one a month. I mean, that's not earth-shattering. And what would that mean to you to have an extra $40,000 right there? Now, there are going to be some of you in tonight's call going, but Eric doesn't understand. I sell real estate. That is my focus. Now, listen clearly what I have to say. If you are selling real estate, you have a leg up in building a revenue share organization. Why? Because you're constantly communicating with other realtors. You're either listening to offers or making an offer. A conversation exists. Watch how simple this is. I do a transaction with Jared, right? You see Jared on the screen. I do a transaction with Jared. At the end of the transaction, I say to Jared, I really enjoyed having the opportunity to do this transaction together. You came off as a really nice person and displayed a high level of professionalism. I hope what I'm about to ask you, you'll take as a compliment. Jared, would you be open-minded? And why do I use the word open-minded? Because nobody walks around and calls themselves closed-minded. They'd be calling themselves ignorant, correct? Jared, would you be open-minded to exploring a brokerage platform that may allow you the good fortune to keep more of your commissions, provide you lead flow to ramp up production, but also make available to you multiple streams of income that you may not have in place right now at your existing brokerage firm, simply putting you in a position to increase your income earning potential? Would you find that compelling, Jared? Would you simply be open to exploring that together by looking at what you're receiving from your existing brokerage firm versus what EXP could provide, so you and you alone can determine what is in your best interest, right? Sure. Folks, if you get comfortable with something like that, if you get comfortable in asking the questions, trust me, it is not hard to bring on. If you look at the totality of the time that I've been at EXP, I probably brought on 2 agents each and every month for the 6 years that I've been there. All right. The income comes in whether you're working or not, whether you're on vacation, whether you're sleeping. This is what the systems builds. Once you start building, right, with the people that you attract to the organization, these numbers that are on the slide in front of you is before any of these agents go out there in an effort to build their own organization so they and their families can enjoy passive income. All right, let's talk about the agent attraction mindset shift. So promotion, right? Pushing the opportunity towards people, chasing, exhausting, stops the momentum right away. Don't think of yourself as a recruiter. Think of yourself as an attractor. Stop constantly promoting and focus more on positioning, setting yourself up so curious agents naturally find you. We use our landing page, right? We create value, and somebody knows how to get in touch with us via our landing page. We do not build by being the loudest person in the room. We built by being the go-to person for agents that are curious about EXP. That is how we position ourselves. So three elements that work together. One is clarity. We talked about this before. The ability to articulate the EXP opportunity simply and accurately without a 20-minute conversation. How do you do that? And I'm going to tell you, that is the biggest obstacle I see in agents. Figuring out, how do I clearly and concisely define all of the features and benefits that EXPs offers? And folks, they're vast, right? I mean, it is an amazing company that Glenn Sanford created. But without having a tool in place, and we use a 20-minute, or pardon me, a 15-minute e-explainer video that absolutely covers the gamut in the most accurate and updated manner possible, so people quickly and clearly grasp the benefits of EXP. So when I'm ready to have a conversation with them, they have a basic understanding. 2, accessibility, professional, personal presence that makes it easy for curious agents to find you. I mentioned that before. That has to do with the landing page. And again, I'm going to go back to consistency. If you don't have consistency, if you don't have a follow-up system in place, it's like shooting yourself in the foot, because there are different time periods of which somebody may come into the organization. When I brought in Orlando Montiel, who is the biggest Spanish-speaking real estate coach in the world, I knew after the first or second meeting that Orlando was coming in. It took me 30 days. Luis Andrew Ruiz, one of the biggest teams, met both of them on a cold call, by the way. Luis Andrew Ruiz took me 3 years to bring in. So what I did is I focus on building the relationship. People are going to, the goal is not to walk somebody to a cliff and then push them. The goal is to walk them to the end of the cliff, and when they're ready to jump, you're going to catch them. And that is done through our follow-up system. Conversation that most agents dread. Your job is not to convince anyone of anything. Your job is simply to give another agent enough information so they can make a well-informed decision. Notice something genuine about the agent situation. You need to be good in terms of observation. That's step 1. You need to understand not every agent that you're talking to is going to care about building a revenue share organization. Some of them don't want to deal with it at all. They never want to talk about EXP. Their focus is in selling more real estate. We need to be very well versed in the EXP model. Are you aware that EXP has 12 different lead generating mechanisms to ensure our agents sell more real estate at EXP? 6.8 transactions last year, more so according to Real Trends than any other outfit that's out there. 2 is the question. Open the door by asking the right question. And I use the same question over and over again, asking people if they're open-minded to bettering their situation. Jared, are you open-minded to exploring a brokerage firm that may allow you the opportunity to keep more of your hard-earned commissions, but also make available to you multiple streams of income that you may not have in place right now at your current brokerage, simply putting you in a position to increase your income earning potential? Is that something you find compelling? And 3, the resources. The resources. Sending out a link and letting the EXP explainer video explain the platform on your behalf. And that has been critical. If you were to look at every alpha and beta agent at the company, every single one of us use an explainer video that can more professionally explain the EXP platform than we can in a 20-minute conversation. That is why we use the video. It's clear, concise, it's updated. It's something that we reproduce every 4 months. So making the observation, understanding the questions, and having the resource are absolutely critical. The follow-up doesn't feel pushy, and it should never feel pushy. That is when you'll lose a prospect, is when they feel like your intentions are not aimed at their best will. It's all about you making money. So how we follow up is really, really simple. Did you get a chance to watch that video I sent? Right? Was that not the most incredible brokerage platform? Have you ever seen a brokerage platform that offers that level of coaching, training, support, and technology so you could be the best professional version of yourself while offering you multiple streams of income, putting you and your family in a position to have the highest level of financial security? Isn't that amazing? That's it. And then watch. What questions do you have for me? And then it's my goal to be a really good listener and be a servant leader. You want the right agent. Not every agent is right for your organization. Remember, not every agent is right for your organization, and not every agent is right for EXP. What every successful revenue share builder has in common, they have something to send, not a corporate brochure, not a link to the EXP website. They use, as I mentioned before, a professional EXP explainer video. I'm going to tell you, I believe, in my humble opinion, I obviously wrote a good portion of this, but I think our videos are top notch. First of all, they're significantly less expensive than anything else on the market. I think, in my opinion, they're the most updated and providing the most accurate information. I will tell you, we are coming out with a new EXP explainer video in the next 5 days. It is absolutely lights out. It is different than any video on the market that we've ever done before or that has been produced. You absolutely want to take a look at this and see if it's right for your business. And you have to have a personal landing page. If people don't know how the hell to get in touch with you, you're putting yourself right behind the 8 ball. So an EXP explainer video and a landing page. And that's what we offer with Attractify Lite. The starting point I wish I had. I spent years trying to figure this out from trial and error. 2 years of awkward conversation, missed follow-ups. God knows how much money I cost myself. I built Attractify Lite because I didn't want any EXP agent to spend time like I did trying to figure it out, doing it the hard way. You must have the most important, if I say nothing else to you this evening, the most important marketing tool you have is an EXP explainer video that allows you to clearly and concisely convey the features and benefits of EXP. The agents who are quietly building passive income right now are no different from you. They've just started and they have the right resources in place. Attractify Lite, it's right here. It's everything you need from day one. It's a 15-minute EXP explainer video. It's a personalized landing page that's both in Spanish and English, and a private access to our private WhatsApp community. It's $15 a month. This is not something that has broken the bank. It is something that I believe in wholeheartedly. Yes, we have Attractify, the other system, which is significantly more expensive. This is what I'm focusing on. This is what you first need to have in place in an effort to build the organization that you'd like. 15-minute explainer video. It's the most accurate, as I mentioned before, up-to-date, professionally produced EXP explainer video available today. It's not a generic overview. It's the real thing. What it covers, the commission structure, the revenue share model 2.0, stock awards, the entire culture. It is, like I said before, the new video will be out in 6 days, and it is nothing short of amazing. The beauty here is you send out one link, they click on the link, and they have all of the information. Your prospect has all of the information. Your personalized landing pages, your name, your photo, your contact details. The video is embedded. It's built in and an email button. It's one professional link ready to send any and all prospects in minutes. So you don't even have to write anything. We wrote out the entire email for you. It's sent out, and it's one link is sent out, and you're good to go. They land in your landing page. They watch the 15-minute video, and they reach out to you directly to have a coherent conversation. What is the WhatsApp community? It's myself and my team. We're providing weekly insights, accountability, and direct support in an effort to help you build your organization. You're not figuring this out alone. So what is it, when you look at this, the breakdown of the cost, one agent, if you're spending $15 a month, that's $180 a year. Now I want you to think about this. If it simply helps you bring in one agent, capping agent, that's $4,000 a year. I don't know about you, but that's a 22% return on investment. That's not the norm. I mean, that is pretty amazing in any business to make an investment of $180 a year and get a return of one person of $4,000. The question was never $15 a month is worth it. The question is, how much longer are you going to wait to start building your organization? Attractify AI. So it's your entire agent attraction business in one place. It's $149. There are four components. There's weekly coaching calls where we prospect on your behalf for you. We do this twice a week for 2 hours. We do explaining the model calls twice a week. So you only have to be really good in mining, and we do Q&As. Those are our weekly coaching calls. We have advanced tools that I talked about before, scripts, objection handling, our videos, a brokerage cost comparison calculator, which allows somebody to see firsthand what they're paying their brokerage versus what they would pay EXP. Our learning management system is 13 videos that you could watch in under 45 minutes and understand how the whole system works, and our proprietary CRM with AI. Folks, we're going to give, if anybody signs up for Attractify Lite, we'll give you access to Attractify for 1 month completely free. So it's your entire agent attraction business in one place. As I mentioned before, it provides you, it's $149 a month, 7-day free trial. If you pay it annually, it's $1,499. We will give you this for 1 month free to go in there, test drive it, and see how the platform works for you. The first 100 Attractify subscribers, as I mentioned before, will get 1 month of Attractify platform for free. That's $149. That's $149 value, yours completely free. And that's if you sign up for Attractify Lite. Let's open this up for Q&A and see if I can answer any questions that you have for me. I see a bunch of hands were raised. So you can ask me any questions about building, questions about Attractify Lite, questions about getting started tonight. Feel free to fire away. Or we have a really quiet crowd. People are just tired. Lindbergh, Miami raised her hand. All right, guys, can you open this up and let people in? So 2 participants, people have got their hands raised right now. Gigi,
Hello,
can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Could you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Okay, I'm doing really well. Thank you, Eric. I
Are you?
appreciate it. This is fantastic. A question about the light version of Attractify. What are some of the, when you mention a landing page, how is that different from, at EXP, we get our different CRMs. For example, I have Lofty, and they provide different landing pages for different purposes there. In that case, how does that work? Is that a custom built landing page just for agent attraction? And what kind of software does it live on? I'm curious.
All right, so you asked me some really good questions. I am the least tech savvy person on this call, so I don't know what platform it's built on, but I'll find out from the
Okay.
team. I'll find out from the team. It is a personalized landing page. It is for agent attraction. You give this to somebody with a link, and they are on your page. They see nothing about Attractify. It is you and your brand. Guys, can you please pull up for Gigi what the landing page looks like? And is there, you may want to comment on what platform Gigi's asking is it built on? So what you would typically have is you'd have your picture, right, Gigi, on the upper left-hand side, you have your picture,
Okay.
you have your contact information, you have the presentation right here. You get to select the language, English or Spanish. And here is the 15-minute video. I'm going to play you a 2-minute clip so you guys will be able to hear this. I'm going to play that in a second so you can see the quality of the video. Again, the new video will be released in the next 5 days. So all of this is your landing page, Gigi. All of this is about agent attraction. Why compensation? Go down a little bit. You're going too fast. Too fast. A little bit slower, right? Talks about EXP, talks about cloud-based, working anywhere, anytime, talks about the EXP community, and of course, compensation. It hypes the company, letting the numbers speak for themselves. According to outside sources, we're top mover. We're number 3 by volume. We're in 29 global markets, 82,000 agents worldwide. EXP is across the globe in the following countries, and everything you need to run and scale your real estate business included with EXP. It talks about EXP, Bold Trail, Close, Lofty, Canva Pro, Sisu. This is our technology stack. This is your landing page, Gigi. Do you see how different
Yes.
that is than Lofty?
Yes, it is. It is. I mean, they have I guess you have most of the housing or the houses there for on the production component. And the reason I'm asking this, I was having someone from EXP who's more tech savvy. She's building me a website on the Lofty platform that was just going to be for the agent attraction in addition to the production side. So that's why I was curious, like how that would work so that I don't have to go into so many different places. I think I've been with EXP now for a year. And I'm doing great, I'm really loving it, but I find that it's super confusing when you are joining EXP for the first time. The amount of information out there, the amount of classes, and I was looking for classes and other information. And you mentioned 12 different tools for lead generation, or if I recall correctly. So how do you address that? I know maybe this is because it's the light version. Maybe this is not where you address it.
It is. I'm going to stay on the light version, Gigi, but I want to say this to you. I think it's almost impossible to build a revenue share organization by using Lofty, Close, or Bold Trail. Those are those are CRMs for basically selling real estate, right? Real estate production. This is completely different. This is a landing page that's just focused. Having said that, where do you find the tools? We have that in Attractify, right? That's all hand laid out for you. These are the 12 different lead generating mechanisms. For example, Realty.com, all three of the CRM have lead generating mechanisms, Making It Rain, RevNos. And those are things that, are all in a PowerPoint. When we do our PowerPoint presentation, when we explain the model on Wednesday and Thursday, we're constantly getting into information like that. But, I could really appreciate what you just said. I think, and, it goes back to what I said before, I think the hardest thing for us agents is being able to explain all of the features and benefits of EXP in 20 minutes. I think people feel like we're throwing up all over them. We're just, killing them with information that they're not going to comprehend. That is exactly why we have an explainer video that does it for us clearly, concisely, and professionally.
Yes. And Eric, one more question. I don't know if there's anybody else. Let me know if there is who have questions.
There's several questions, but please fire away.
Okay, I'll move quickly then. So once they are on this landing page and they watch the video, do you have the follow-up? Where does that go after that? Because like you said, we just say the gold is in the follow-up or the fortune is in the follow-up. So where does that leave us?
So you're asking a really good question. That's what we have the Attractify system for. That is a follow-up system. That is a CRM that has all of those tools in there communicating on your behalf at the highest level. All of your emails, all of your texts, all of your drip campaigns are written for you and branded by you to ensure that you're communicating at the highest level and moving that relationship along from prospect until you bring somebody into your organization. You're asking me, Gigi, some really good, well thought out questions. But that's exactly why you would not try to build that in Lofty. You would use a CRM that has those tools in place to assist you in building the type of organization you want. But that's a really good question. What do you do with them? I mean, until you have a CRM, I used to use just a pad and pen. I used to write things down. Unfortunately, I more often than not would wind up losing leads because I didn't have a system of follow-up in place. But I think it's a really good question. That's why you need to have a CRM that's focused on agent attraction. I would not try to recreate and build. We spent 2 years building Attractify. It is a CRM powered by artificial intelligence that is telling you when to follow up, what to follow up with, how to best communicate. All of that is tracked by artificial intelligence. based on the algorithms that I use to building out my organization.
Got it.
Can I add
And
something here real quick, Eric?
Yep.
I just want to be very clear that Attractify Lite is the very first thing that you need. All it is a landing page for your prospect to go to. It gives a great general overview of EXP for you, which will move it to the next step and move you forward. Everything that Gigi's asking about, that is actually the Attractify AI system. We haven't really talked a whole lot about that, but that is on the next level, above and beyond Attractify Lite.
That's what I was just saying. That's what I was just saying to her. It's our CRM powered by artificial intelligence, along with the other tools that I mentioned before, Gigi.
okay. May I ask one last closing
One last
question?
one, because I have other people waiting as well. So
Okay,
please.
so last question in this video in Attractify Lite, is that a personalized video like of us that maybe is built with AI, or is that just like a generic video where,
So on the new video that will be released in 2 days, there's a male and a female, artificial, it's AI, really attractive people that are speaking about the platform. It is sent by you. It is all branded by you. They never see the word Attractify. But no, you're not the one conveying the conversation. That would be obviously a huge task and a huge expenditure for you. This is
Yes.
an explainer video that will clearly and concisely explain the features and benefits in 15 minutes that nor you, nor I, nor anybody else that I know at EXP are able to do that. Provide a clear and concise presentation in EXP in 15 minutes without overwhelming someone. And that's why we use the explainer video.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
One more thing, Gigi, just to answer you regarding the tech question. So it's built on JavaScript latest framework called Next.js.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really that tech savvy because I know some people use like Go High Level or other platforms and they build different things. But thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I think this is
Oh,
great.
you're welcome. I'm glad that you were here tonight.
Yes.
Anybody else? I see we have a bunch of hands raised. How can I?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Eric. Thanks for the presentation. Quick question.
Oh, hey, Jorge, how are you?
I'm doing great. It doesn't look like I'm coming up on video. I'm sorry, I don't know why.
It's okay.
Yeah, so the question is, I have a couple questions. Number one, on the light version, it's a landing page. I get it, and it comes with a video. I get it. When our prospects or our leads hit the landing page, is it going to capture information, or is it just strictly a landing page? Number one.
Who's there? You want to jump in from the technology standpoint and address that? Or Jared?
Yes. So it's just a landing page. It won't be capturing any information. It's just for your prospects to basically know about what EXP does and what benefit does EXP gives. And then you basically get a follow-up from them.
Okay, and will we own that landing page? In other words, if at any point we decide to not continue with Attractify, is that a landing page we can take with us? And the video we can take with us? I am an EXP agent. Or is it just a service you're providing me as I pay monthly fees?
It's a
Yes.
service that we're providing, Jorge. That's exactly what we're doing. So, like I said before, every alpha and beta agent at the company that I'm aware of has had access to an EXP explainer video, and they're typically paying, I'll let you research the market, but 25% more than what Attractify Live is selling for. But we
Okay.
create the landing page, it's your landing page, but the video is reproduced every 4 to 6 months, by the way, to ensure
Got it.
that we're providing accurate and updated information. So that
Perfect.
video is made available as long as you're subscribing.
Perfect. And one last question is, if I decide
Please.
to go with the full package of Attractify, once I start uploading my leads, are they my leads? What happens if at any point I decide to cancel?
they are
Will I
always-
be able to take them off? I mean, obviously there's proprietary issues there and privacy issues. What can you tell me about that?
So all of the leads are your leads. We've
Okay.
been in business. We had a system before this called Attraction Flow. Attractify's been out about 1.5 years right now. And, these leads are only your leads. Nobody accesses your database other than you. All branding is you'll never see, your client will never see the word Attractify. That's not true. At the end of the video, we'll say copyright produced by Attractify. Nobody even knows what that means. Nobody pays attention to that, quite frankly. But all of the leads are your leads. And you're free to, it's month to month. You're free to stay with Attractify as long as you'd like. We have a couple of people on tonight who have been part of Attractify. I don't know if Nima or Ron Rank is on, but if you guys want to talk about or address anything that Jorge just asked me about, please feel free. Jorge, did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Yeah, but I need all of the leads are yours and yours only. Who else?
Eric, we have few questions in the Q&A session as well.
Sure.
Oh,
Hey,
Eric, can you hear me?
this is Pat Honorata. Can you hear me?
Hey, Pat, how are you?
I'm doing great. I have a couple of quick questions for you.
Sure.
As far as the prospecting goes, you said you do 2 hours of personalized prospecting with people who take the better version of this. How does that
I
work
do. One of the
exactly?
gentlemen is on right now. Ron Rank is on right now. So every Tuesday from 3 to 5 today, from 3 to 5 every Tuesday Eastern, and 2 to 4 on Thursday Eastern, we do a round robin, and I will call. People show up. Most of them are straight cold calls. They'll come with a first name, what brokerage firm the person's affiliated with, and a phone number, and I'll call. I'll create the relationship. I'll do all of the follow-up. And then what we'll do is we'll help build that person an organization. We'll either be the co-sponsor or the primary we'll either be the co-sponsor or the primary sponsor. We'll go back and forth. But if we bring on one person for you, the system essentially pays for itself.
That's awesome.
So
The
we
other
do that
thing I have,
every single week. And Ron Rank and Nima's on right now. Nima, do you want to address what is
Yeah,
being asked by
Eric.
Pat?
No, I would say what I've noticed, Eric's one of the best at EXP and what he does with respect to building a rev share organization, reaching out, taking a cold call, having that conversation, helping the prospect understand what EXP is about and moving the needle to where they decide if EXP is for them. And I believe I want to say the important part of all of this is the explainer video. It's concise, it's to the point. You're not listening to something that's 40 minutes long, trying to get a feel for EXP. It's to the point, and that starts the conversation to where you can have those follow-up conversations. That's what I really appreciate about how Eric runs his platform with Attraction.
Thanks, Nima. I just want to add to what Nima said. So, on cold call the other day, Pat, we called a broker owner in South Carolina, has 5 agents. They do over 40 million in production. We have them on with management on Thursday, Nima, at 9 a.m. We have a call with them. That was a cold call. And that's something that Nima and I will, primary and co-sponsor together. I've made the phone call. I've created the relationship with this person. I now bring Nima into the relationship. And this is all done from the Attractify system.
are you allowed to have more than one co-sponsor? Because my sponsor is teamed up with another individual. I don't want to name any names, but they're pretty big up in EXP.
And Pat, you could co-sponsor with whoever you feel is going to add the most value to your business. I think that there's some really good co-sponsors out there. I think a lot of people want to co-sponsor with me because they know I own Attractify, and they know that I built one of the fastest growing organizations at EXP. And I don't say that arrogantly, I say that humbly. But I think that you're able to, Pat, co-sponsor with whoever you want to. So if you were to join Attractify, for example, you would come into the meeting. I would call, we do a round robin. There's usually the same 10 or 15 people in the meeting. And I would call on your behalf. We get somebody, I would nurture them, cement the relationship, bring you in. And then like I said, I would be primary, you'd be co, the next one, you'd be primary, I'd be co, and we'd go back and forth because we're not in my line. So you could do that, and it has nothing to do with the people above you. That is your choice.
I can still choose a different co-sponsor for something that's not affiliated with Attractify. That was my question, pretty much.
Of course.
Okay. And 2 other quick questions.
But if I'm making the call, if I'm going to make the call for you.
I get that. You're the co-sponsor. I totally. Yeah,
The,
you're
the primary
100%.
primary and code.
Yeah.
We flip back and forth.
And can you track how long people have watched the videos on the light and or the other?
And you know, I should
how
have
does the
mentioned that. Thanks,
CRM
Pat.
work?
You can. So you can absolutely monitor. It shows you as a green line that shows you what percentage of the video they watched, if they stopped the video. So it monitors that. So in fact, you know how serious a prospect is or not, Pat. Really good question. Thank you for asking that.
Sure. And do you get like a ping on your phone when somebody hits your website and is watching a video so you can follow up with them right away?
You do. You do. And you
Not
know,
on the
again,
light.
I'm not say it again.
Not on the light, but on the full Attractify, you get all those features.
On the full. Okay.
Yes.
And the
And Pat, I will
CRM?
say, you know, I'm going to re-say I'm going to kind of convey again what I said before. The new video that's coming out is just, it's lights out. You know, I'll stake my reputation that each and every one of you, when you see what's the quality of this, you're going to think, wow. I mean, it's an amazing tool to have. And I bet you it has a direct impact on how many people I bring into my organization over the next 6 months.
And do you guys support the agent as far as like three-way calls and stuff like that to bring in a third-party expert? Because I don't have a real estate background myself. I've been in the car business for 30 years and I'm transitioning into
So what I
EXP
do
right
is
now.
what I do is every Wednesday and every Thursday, I explain the model, and you could bring any one of your prospects onto the call. I will sell them an EXP. My focus and one of my core beliefs is the following. I think that it's very hard to hold somebody's attention for 45 minutes and take them on a full presentation. It's something that I do particularly well. And there's not many things I say that I do very well. But Pat, what we do is you would bring them on the group call. You would bring them on the group call with me, and I would lay out the features and benefits in a PowerPoint presentation for them. And our conversion rate on that has been incredibly high. Ron, did you want to jump in here and say something as well? Ron Rank? You're muted, buddy.
Yeah. Hi, Eric.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, I asked you if I could come on here because I just wanted to share with the people that are on the call why I trust you, Eric, and why I use Attractify. I've been in the business for over 50 years. And when I first considered calling other agents about EXP, I was very hesitant. You know, I felt like I needed to have all the answers to all the questions they could possibly ask me. And you helped me change that mindset very quickly. You taught me that I don't need to have all the answers. I just need to open the door. And for me, with Attractify, the heart of Attractify is that 15-minute video. It's one of the most important tools in the system because, in my opinion, it gives the agent a clear, professional introduction to the company and gives them the opportunity to help them formulate questions that we can talk about after they watch the video. It's, as you mentioned, it's updated regularly, and it allows me to approach people in I would say, a gentle, professional way and never pushy. So my advice is simple. It was just start. You don't need to know everything. The video does much of that work for you. And your job is simply to get Attractify and begin opening doors.
Awesome. It sounds like I'm about to sign up, so I appreciate everyone's help.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks for being here.
Okay,
Who
can you
else,
hear
guys?
me?
Yep, Joel, what are you doing, man?
Oh, okay. Did you say that there was a 1 month free trial of the full with signing up for the light?
Yes. Yeah. But I'm going to say something to you,
Right.
Joel. Do it if you're going to
Right.
commit to doing it. In other words, jump on the Q&A with me, jump on the prospecting calls, bring people in, have a mindset that you're going to bring one person a week to an explaining the model call. And again, focus not on who you're going to bring into your organization today, but my focus each and every day is how many new agents that I put in my system that deserve to be there. Are they open-minded? Are they committed to watch the video? And are they willing to have a follow-up conversation with me? You have 1 month access to Attractify, and the system is lights out.
Great. And there's no contract?
No contract at all.
Where's the link to sign up?
That would be a Jared and a technology question, Joel. Sorry about that. Jared, want to jump in there? And
Yes, Joel, you can go to Attractify.ai, and that'll take you there to sign up.
So it's just the main page.
Yes, go to the main page, Attractify.ai.
Attractify.
Jared, they have it on there. I want to make sure that Joel gets access to the month free of Attractify. Do we have something on there that will convey through Attractify Lite? Oh yeah, here it is.
Yeah, whoever signs up through this program to this webinar today, they will be receiving the free 1 month, and we'll take care of it on our end.
Yeah, you could do it right through here, guys. It's lite.attractify.ai. Joel, you don't even have to go to Attractify. So first month step to building an organization, you start here and you go, and what will happen is you'll get access to Attractify as well.
Excuse me, I thought Joel was asking about the full version, but yes.
No,
like Attractify.ai, you can sign up for Attractify Lite.
Yeah.
Start today, $15 a month.
Yes.
Okay, I'm filling it out right now.
So can you clarify something for me real quick? The light version, we can sign up for that and get a free week of the full version?
A full month.
Full month.
So the offer is basically the first 100 people who will be joining in for Attractify Lite will be getting a month free for Attractify.ai. That's for $149 a month. You will be getting it for free.
And it's at Attractify.ai.com, and I can go sign up.
Light.attractify.ai. You can sign up.
Light.attractify.ai. Okay.
Yes. So you need to sign up on this particular URL, and the first 100 customers will get the free version, the full version of this particular Attractify.ai platform, the full version. That's for $149.
So it's light.attractify.ai. Is that correct?
Yes. I'll be placing the link here. Okay.
Yeah, there's no link that we can click on. This chat's closed.
Kevin, what can we answer for you, bud?
Yeah, so Eric, this is great stuff. Really like it. I've been using just a Google spreadsheet, and I got, like 70 people in here, and I'm kind of nurturing them, following up with them. I've been over at EXP since like October, and I've got 4 people in the organization so far, and I've got a lot of like I guess warm nurtures that I'm just kind of working on. I really like how the CRM is like, organizing it and, giving you ideas on, I see here, like it says, invite them to a live call and then let AI guide your next move. So I guess my question is, if I'm inviting people that are my prospects to the live call and then letting the CRM guide it, is that kind of like the co-sponsor thing that you were talking about, or is that like
No, Kevin. What it's saying is that if you use the Attractify system and you call through the system, what's going to happen? What's going to transpire is AI is going to interpret the conversation and ensure that they meet those 3 bogeys I've mentioned several times before they go into your database. And then what's going to happen is AI is going to tell you what to send out, when to send it out. It's going to communicate on your behalf with templates that are already written for texts, emails, and drip campaigns.
Got it. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Good. It does.
I want to say something.
A lot of these. Oh, go ahead.
Don't beat yourself up for using a Google spreadsheet. I used to use a pad and paper for the first year at EXP.
I mean,
that's the reason I created Attractify.
It's the Curtis Johnson method over here. It's just a very, very, very simple like dinosaur mode. But I mean, I don't know. I've collected like 11K in rev share this year so far, so it's not
It's
like it
awesome.
doesn't work. I just need to get a little bit better.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, a system will take your business to the next level. And I know sometimes, you look and think, I don't want to spend this much in a system, but the reality is the payoff is astronomical if you're really going to work the system. I think a lot of people treat this like a gym membership, if I'm being honest with you. They'll come in, they'll pay the money for Tractify and then never use it. And we could see who's using the system and who's not, right? The analytics in the back end show that to us. I'm going to say to everybody on the call, don't throw money away. If you're not going to use the system, I don't need the money that badly. I've got a huge revenue share organization. I want this to work for you, but it requires you to roll up your sleeves and put it to work. The system works if you work the system.
Yeah, this is really cool. One question I do have is, obviously I got a lot of folks that I know personally from the market. They all have my cell number. If I'm calling through a CRM number, am I just overthinking that? Or, I mean,
You are. I mean, very often, I don't call very often.
¿Qué pregunta? Nadie.
Or
just call them and say, "Oh yeah, I'm calling from my office line. This is my office line. What's up?" And then that's
Can you
it.
guys mute Jorge, please? Hold on one second, Kevin. Was there, yeah, you guys wouldn't mind muting, please. Thanks. Kevin, so what I was going to say to you is more often than not, my first call I typically make through the system, unless I'm doing group prospecting. But
Got it.
you don't have to make your follow-up calls through the system. The system allows you to track it. There are benefits in doing that, right? We also have automations that go out consistently. When somebody says something, AI will pick up and send out something automatically on your behalf. Having said that, I would say at least half of my calls are not made through the system.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a fallback and a booby trap, I guess, if you're making a lot of calls. And yeah, I mean, I like this. This is really it's really interesting to me. Have you guys, in terms of like uploading leads and putting, just agents in there, um, are you guys how are you recommending folks building their list besides like their warm network of people that or agents that I know? Maybe if I scrub my Facebook and get a list of agents that I'm friends with on Facebook, which there's, of several hundred on there, things like that. What are you recommending as best practices to build your list? And this is probably something you talk about in your coaching, but I just am
So my
curious.
buddy, yeah, I said my buddy Brian's got his hand up too. Hey, buddy. So Kevin, let me answer it this way. So I spent a lot of time answering this question, but how I built my organization is the first thing you would do is put together a comprehensive list of every agent who's been on the flip side of a transaction with you, on the flip side of a transaction. So you would listing agent, they were the selling agent, or vice versa, former colleagues, friends in the business, right? So I'm a big believer of first hit low hanging fruits. So any agent that you're currently doing a transaction with, done a transaction with, former colleagues or friends. I'm also a big believer. If you want to build a database of agents, then go to seminars, go to events where agents participate. Go to a Mike Ferry event, a Tom Ferry event, go to Brian Buffini event. I'm scheduled for a Tom Ferry event. I don't sell real estate anymore. I live in Puerto Rico. Why would I go to a Tom Ferry event? Because there are 4,000 agents that are going to be there that if I walked around drunk in stupor, I'm going to identify a glut of agents that are going to be open-minded to keeping more of their commissions and having access to multiple streams of income that I think we could all agree, right, is better than having one stream of income. So I think that going to events, going to lender events, going to title events, going to your local board events, going to a state association events, going to NAR events. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. I would start with building a comprehensive list of agents who have been on the flip side of the transaction, former colleagues and friends. Those are your lowest hanging fruits.
Great. Yeah, this is good. I've got it, and I'm interested. I like this because I just I feel like I get lost with the Google Sheet a little bit sometimes, and it's a little overwhelming, and you don't know where to start. And so, yeah, this will help. Appreciate it.
I'm going to tell you, this is going to sound silly when I say this. You are costing yourself money by not having a system in place to assist you.
I'm fully aware.
Our drip campaign, once somebody goes in as a prospect, and a prospect is either hot, warm, or cold. I wasn't going to get into this much detail, but you're asking, so I will. Hot, warm, or cold. A hot prospect is somebody who we anticipate is going to join our organization within 4 months, right? They are heavily engaged with us in terms of conversation. A warm prospect, they're going to join from 4 months out to 12. They're engaged. They typically have listings that they need to sell. There's some small hiccup, but we think they're going to join. A cold lead, I have no clear indication when or if they'll ever join my organization. At one point in time, we had a conversation, and they mentioned that they were open-minded, willing to watch the videos, and having a follow-up call. Once they are in the system, Kevin, this is important. Each and every month on the 1st and 15th, we generate a drip campaign. One time it's something factual or something about EXP, a new milestone EXP is hit, an earnings report, an acquisition, onboarding a big team. The second drip campaign is something that we use humor, right? Use humor. We use the drip campaign to assist us in nurturing and cementing relationships with those agents that we like to bring into our organization. It took me 3 years to bring on one of the biggest teams off of a cold call, Louis Andrew Ruiz. I dripped on him like crazy to help move the relationship along without bothering him every month with a phone call.
You must know AJ Maida. Tell him that Kevin Langan said hi.
I will do, Kevin. Thanks, buddy. I'm glad you're here tonight.
Appreciate it.
All right, who's next?
Hey, I have a follow-up question. I just signed up for the Attractify Lite. How do I get access to the first full month of the full?
Jared?
We'll be sending out instructions for you to receive that, and you'll receive them tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, you will get a promo code that you can add to your Stripe, and you will get a discount.
I saw Bryant down here. Bryant and Vince. Vince, what are you doing, bud?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks, Eric.
One of my favorite people.
There you go. Hey, I just had a couple questions just as we begin approaching this. What can Attractify Lite realistically accomplish before we should be considering the full platform? Or do they come simultaneously?
Listen, I think when you tell somebody Attractify is $149 a month, a lot of people are gonna be fearful, right? They're gonna look at the price tag and go, wait, that's too much money. The most important tool, Vince, is being able to explain the model to somebody clearly, concisely, with updated and accurate information. We reproduce this video every 3 to 4 months. What it does, it basically sets the tone for you and your prospect to have a good basic conversation because they have a basic understanding of EXP and the features and benefits that are provided. The video does a great job of laying that out. So you are now, or your client is now readily prepared to have a basic understanding conversation with you.
Yeah. Okay. And just another question, just basically if we're starting from zero today, what would the velocity be? How should I use Attractify Lite during, say, the first 90 days?
So I would use Attractify Lite. First of all, I'm very sensitive. I don't just put it out on a website. I would never put it in YouTube because I'm very sensitive to the fact that I don't ever want somebody to perceive EXP as an MLM company because we're not. We're the most successful real estate sales brokerage on the planet. Not because I'm saying so, but real trends and all of the third parties based on the number of sides we do. What you want to do is when you are engaged with a realtor and you ask them if they're open-minded, right? And let's kind of walk through this. I'm going to quickly do this with you. Vince, would you be open-minded to looking at a brokerage platform that allowed you the good fortune to keep more of your commissions, provided you lead flow to ramp up your volume, but also made available to you multiple streams of income that you may not have in place right now, simply putting you in a position to increase your income earning opportunity? Is that something you may find compelling? Would you simply be open-minded to exploring? Vince says yes, he's open-minded. He's now crossed that first bogey. Watch. Vince, I'm clearly not asking you for any commitment right now. What I am going to do is I'm going to take the liberty of sending you out 2 short videos. One of the videos is about 15 minutes long. You can almost watch it while you're brushing your teeth. These videos will provide a great overview why eXp is the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate and how this platform may assist you in taking your real estate business to the next level. Vince, would you be able to watch these videos in the next 24 to 48 hours? Vince says, yes, great.
Yep.
Vince, lastly, if you watch the videos in the next 24 to 48 hours, I'd love to follow up with you so you and I can answer any questions that you may have, that you may formulate. And so I can answer any questions that you may have. And I schedule the third appointment. I use the video in that capacity. I give it to people that are open-minded to learning more about eXp so I could then nurture and cement a relationship and ultimately bring them into my organization.
Okay. All right, that's great.
I answer it, buddy?
Yep. And then I guess the final question I have is, I know this might be difficult to answer. Which features of the full platform generate the greatest recruiting advantage, do you feel?
Say that again, or ask that question again.
Which features of the full platform generate the greatest recruiting advantage?
I think it's a very good question. I would say it's twofold. It's not just one. One is, I think, if you don't have the right scripts in place, if you're not asking the right questions, you're not identifying the right audience. So I think, having these aids that when you go into a conversation, you walk into the conversation with a high level of comfortability and confidence, because what you're doing is you're taking scripts and you're internalizing them. You're not memorizing them. That's number one. Number two, the drip campaign. I think it's absolutely essential to remember that the fortune is in the follow-up, with AI telling you what to send out, how to send it out, and how to best communicate. So I think it's really twofold bits. I think it's the most important tools to me are the scripts to ensure that I'm engaging somebody in a conversation by asking the right questions and putting the right audience into my database, and then having a follow-up system via our drip campaign and moving the relationship forward.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, so kind of a forward asking question. When somebody says, okay, let's go, I would like to join EXP and Attractify has worked, do you help with onboarding, or do you have an onboarding system?
I do. I use a woman by the name of Vonda Kozar. And my job is not to do, my mindset is that my job is not to do admin work. We're making way too much money building a real estate organization. If you're successfully selling real estate, you don't want to be doing admin work. So I hand that off to a third party. And like I said, her name is Vonda Kozar, and she does all of the onboarding for me.
Great. Thank you.
Of course, Greg.
Hello, Eric.
Hey. Yep.
Oh, hi. This is Jam Mutlu from Boston.
Hey, Jam. How are you?
Hi there. This is great stuff. Thank you. I have a couple of questions. One of them is, so since we're getting the Attractify Lite, the full version, it seems we're going to be able to see in a couple of days, you said, the new video, so we get a flavor.
New video is out in 6 days.
In 6 days. Okay, fine.
Yep.
And the landing page example that you showed us, that your team showed us, has data, I noticed, all from 2023. Was that just a sample and the new one is updated, or how does that work?
It is, Jim. So, remember that a lot of this stuff, the information, the numbers on the page, a lot of those numbers lag by about a year. They accumulate the information and they put it out. There's usually a year lag time. So we try to keep that as updated as possible, Jim.
Sure, but we're in 2026, so there's like 3 years.
On the landing page?
Yeah, the landing page it has numbers from 2023. There's 2024 and 2025 have happened.
Yeah, those will be updated.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Using that as a sample.
I see. Okay. Let's see. One other question. So there seems to be sort of a lot of these companies seem to have long contracts with folks. Like I just spoke to somebody today. This gentleman, he's very interested, wants to come on board, yet he's going to need to pay. He says he actually looked into it. His contract says that he's going to have to pay $35,000, $40,000 to offboard, to leave that company if he were to terminate early. What do you say to the folks like that?
I think that's a very difficult position to handle because I think nobody wants to feel like they're leaving money on the table. More often than not, somebody's not going to write a check for $40,000 unless you can clearly and concisely show them how much money they're going to save. So I have an agent at Howard Hanna. She pays Howard Hanna over $100,000 a year. I went into the brokerage cost comparison calculator, which is one of the tools I did not talk about tonight. And I illustrated for her how much money she was paying Howard Hanna, how much money she would pay EXP, and the difference was over $80,000. She's an icon agent, so she would get back to $16,000. Jen, unless you have something that could clearly and concisely indicate to somebody where they would have a significant cost savings, it's going to be hard for most people to write a check for $30,000, $40,000. So what my focus then is to continue nurturing and cementing that relationship. So when that contract expires, and it will ultimately expire, is that you're there for the taking. Remember, the goal is not to walk somebody to a cliff and give them a push. Your goal is to simply catch them when they're ready to jump.
Okay. And do you have a phone number where you're reached, or how do we reach you, like for questions now that some of us have signed up, or many of us have signed up already?
So there's three there. I'm always on, and you'll get my cell phone number, but I would just start by going on the Q&A call. So there are Q&A calls. I do Mondays and Thursdays. I do a Q&A from 1 to 2 with Jared. On Tuesdays, I prospect. On Wednesday and Thursday night, I explain the model and I do a prospecting call as well. So on any of these, you'll see me on Zoom, but my cell phone number is 415-595-9000. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Be really cautious in terms of how often you use it. I have 3,000 people and I'm running Attractify. So I'm not providing one-on-one coaching, Jim. I don't want to mislead. Everything that I do is pretty much in a group setting. But I think Nima or Ron will tell you we speak on the phone regularly. But I'm not doing one-on-one coaching. I don't have the bandwidth to do that.
Of course. What's the number again, just in case?
415-595-9000. And you could probably tell I'm pretty direct in my delivery. I mean, I'll guide you whether to jump on a Zoom call with me. But
I totally
that's
get
my
it.
phone number.
I totally get it. There's only so much you can. Yeah, absolutely. I totally get it. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you for nothing. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate it. Yes, really good questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Great stuff.
Thanks. Anybody else? Brian, are you still on? I saw Brian had a question before. And Brian's become a friend of mine. Brian's a prospect who I met in a cold call, and we've been talking for about 2 years. And ultimately, Brian, I don't know if you could hear me or not, Brian's going to want to come into our organization. We've built a relationship. The relationship is based on trust and confidence. And, I never pushed him to join. It's been a 2-year courting process, and it's something that I've enjoyed. We had lunch together in Miami Beach within the last, 6 to 9 months. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. I raised my hand. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Hi again, Eric. Okay.
Hello.
My question is with some of the questions, right, that you get when agents are signing up, sometimes they ask for, what's the healthcare policy, these kind of things. I don't expect that they would be included with the light version, but do you have something, is that the AI platform, does that provide all the details, let's say, that answers these agents' questions who have maybe some follow-up questions that we don't have time to look up and find out? I mean, I don't think
let me answer your question. So on the EXP explainer video, it absolutely does lay out that every agent has the opportunity to explore innovative and low-cost healthcare options that are provided by Clearwater benefit. So, Gigi, they do have that. They have access to that. But also on my Wednesday and Thursday call where I'm explaining the model, I go through that in detail.
Okay.
And on
I
the
go through
full
that in
version,
detail.
we have a resource center that's specifically for those type questions you may have.
It's actually, I forgot to mention, it's a really good idea. So on the Attractify.ai is a resource center, and you put in healthcare, and what pops up is a PDF form that has all of the information you need to know about healthcare. But I also discussed that on the Wednesday and Thursday night attraction calls. And Gigi, I want to say this to you. I could tell that you're asking me some really good detailed questions. I'm going to share with you again. There aren't 5 people in EXP that I would have explain the platform for me. Something that few people do really, really well. If you want to make money doing this, become really good at inviting. I mean, I have some really good friends on tonight's call. You saw Nima, Ron Rank. Vince is a very, very dear and close friend. They hear me talking about the model all the time. I mean, all the time. I live with this. So focus on simply inviting, being good at inviting, and let the platform work for you, Gigi, in conveying all of this minutia. Because you're asking me great questions.
Got it. Thank you. And when you say inviting, do you mean inviting those people like you, Eric, who are super knowledgeable, or do you mean that invite the people who might fit that open-minded and the 2 other?
If they're a prospect, if they're open-minded, you sent them out the video, you've had a conversation, they said, great, I'd like to learn more. You would bring them to that 45-minute call that I do on Wednesday and Thursday night. It's for prospects. It's for me to help you build your organization by doing the heavy lifting.
Got it. And when you say split prospects, what do you exactly mean? Like being the co-sponsor, like let's say I brought that person, I'm the sponsor, and then you become the co-sponsor.
No, that's your client. That is your client. I have nothing to do with that. If you're on the prospecting call with me and you say, Eric, make the call, and you've never, I'm the one who's basically identified the relationship, nurturing it, and bring them in, we're going to co-sponsor it together. But no, that's part of your monthly fee, is that you could bring whomever you want to that Wednesday and Thursday call. That's your client. That has nothing to do with me.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you explained that more. It's more clear to me now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's absolutely your client. That has nothing to do with me whatsoever.
Okay.
Only on the prospecting call. It's funny, you heard Ron Rank and Nima on before. Nima and I have a meeting on Thursday with a brokerage firm that we met in a cold call, and Ron and I have a meeting at 11 o'clock tomorrow with somebody who does 40 plus transactions in Illinois, and he has a team. So those were both cold calls, and on both of those will either be co-sponsor or primary sponsor. But I made the phone call and I created the relationship, and I've nurtured the relationship.
Understood. Okay. And Eric, let's say we brought on board the prospects, they became, EXP agents. At that point, what kind of with Attractify AI, what kind of nurturing, once they're already in the at EXP, what kind of nurturing systems do you have to, keep them happy, obviously, because it's like similar to a client, right? Once you have a client, you want to also keep them happy. Do you have some sort of plan for agents, let's say, to use the Attractify AI so that they could be bringing on more people? And
so they would need to buy Attractify AI, because we're spending money producing the video. So if they're at all serious about building a revenue share organization, they would go ahead and buy Attractify Lite. It's $15 a month. And if they're not willing to spend $15 a month, you can't drive a car unless you put gas in the car. So they would invest in themselves. They would buy the video. In terms of what you're asking me is how to cut down on attrition, how to make sure that when you bring somebody in, they don't leave EXP. That's a really good question, Gigi. And I would bet you with the next iteration of Attractify.ai, because we're always doing things to bettering the site, right? It's how it works in technology. I would
Yeah.
imagine the next thing that we release has to do with something. It has to do with attrition. But I'm often putting people in fast cap. I'm putting them in different programs, and I'm using a lot of EXP's resources to make them aware, to make somebody in my organization, to make them aware of how to scale their business or how to run it more efficiently or how to build an organization. So I'm constantly making them aware of it verbally, but we're going to probably have something on the site that does that. Because I think unless you really know EXP really well, there's a woman that came over from Real. She was Real's biggest producer in terms of building a revenue share organization. Her name is Spring. She left 2,600 agents at Real. And she said something really interesting. And her comment said that, what amazes me about EXP is that nobody really understands just how significant and the depth of this platform. Gigi, it's amazing. There is so much stuff here that, there are so many different gold mines. And to try to remember all of that, it's challenging. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the Attractify site. That will be, like I said, something that we focus on down the road. Sooner than later, though.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Eric, can you hear me?
I can. Hey, what are you doing, buddy?
How are you doing?
Doing good. Brian, I was just talking about you. Well, you heard me talking about you.
Yeah, I heard
So
you. I heard you.
Brian's not with EXP. He's somebody I met in a phone call, and we built a friendship. And so, Brian, it's really good to have you on, buddy. What's going on? Brian, everybody on this call is not going to call you to try to recruit you.
No, Eric is a really, really, really stand-up guy. I had a wonderful lunch with him on the beach. Looking forward to our next one. I just have one question that's going to come across probably like I wasn't paying attention, but probably
no, fire away.
The video that you get through the 15-minute video that gets redone every 5 or so months that gets put out through Attractify is a different video than the one that EXP offers for recruiting?
I haven't even seen an EXP video. The videos that I send you have been produced by Attractify, by me. It's been produced by our company. So all of those videos that you've seen that I've sent you personally, Brian, have been produced by Attractify.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we have to have a conversation.
Yes. Yeah. So before we had our first conversation, I asked you if you were open-minded. You had shared with me what was going on in your business, and I immediately sent you out that video.
Yeah.
But I want to say to everybody on the call, before we started producing Attractify Lite and creating these videos, I used another company. I always had an explainer video. Always. I always had that as an aid to assist me in building out my revenue share organization. From the get-go, I understood the significance and the importance of having that.
They're great videos.
Thanks, bud. You got to see that. Brian, I'd love your feedback on the new video. I'll get it out to you this week. I'd love your feedback on it.
Absolutely. And when you're back in Miami, let me know.
I'm coming in on Saturday. I've got a doctor's appointment. Let's grab lunch if you're on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll make myself available.
All right. I'll reach out during the week. Folks, this is a friendship, and this is exactly how you want to build your organization. Brian, I want to put you in the spot. Have you ever felt that I pushed you to join EXP? Honestly. And I had no idea Brian was going to be on. This is not staged.
No, I've always felt that you knew that I had a circumstance going where I didn't want to it's a long convoluted story, but you understood from the get-go that a decision is forthcoming, but I couldn't actually determine when that decision would be made. And I've never felt that you were putting pressure on me or that you were forcing me to make some sort of decision or asking me, crazy things like where my allegiance is. I always knew that I had you there, that I could. You've actually helped me with something else. I don't know if you remember. You gave me a recommendation recently. I've always felt that you were somebody that I could I could come to with things, and I never felt pressure in the other way around. This relationship has actually been one-sided, me needing you much more than you've ever made me feel like you needed me. It's always been very courteous, and it's been pleasant. And you know, you're a great guy. Like I said, I enjoyed our lunch. I'm looking forward to our next, and I'm pretty confident that my move to EXP is coming pretty quick. But it's that's what I'd like to talk to you about. But I've never felt any pressure.
And as a matter of fact, Jem asked me before, Brian, leaving money on the table. And I've said to Brian, I wouldn't leave money on the table based on what he was going through. So I even said to him, I supported him. And what I conveyed is that I absolutely would not make the move until he had took care of what he needed to take care of. It's never about what's in our best interest. It's always about what's in that other person's best interest. And they can absolutely sense, absolutely know whether it's about you or it's about them. So lead with your heart, people.
To be totally honest, I don't know what happened in the last year and a half or so, and I've fielded recruiting calls from Rare, from Real, from a bunch of different brokerages, and I've always felt that I was pitched, I was being sold something. And with Eric, EXP through Eric, I've always felt that I'd be joining something. It felt like it was a decision that I'd be making to want to do this, not that I was sold something. Usually when you're sold something, it really goes to show you that you may not have wanted it to begin with. If you have to be sold and convinced, it's because you are not convinced. And I've never felt that way with Eric or with EXP. So it's why I've pretty much shot down everybody else. And the move, I've had to work some things out. They're pretty much worked out, and I'll be heading over.
Nice.
I'll circle back tomorrow. We'll set something up for the weekend.
Can I join you guys? Because I'm in Miami too. I would love to meet you guys, maybe for coffee if you have time.
Let's talk offline. You have my number. 415.
Okay, I'm going to text you.
415-595-9000.
Awesome. I'm going to text you.
Hello, Eric. Eric, just a heads up, we are reaching the end of the webinar. So,
all right, just real quickly, Nemo, did you have something that you wanted to say, bud?
I want to just say, I think, obviously, besides the professionalism, Eric, and your reputation and what you do and your expertise, the thing that sticks out is the decency that you go about doing this with respect to what you do. Just as friend to friend, right? Admire you for what you've accomplished revenue share wise, but more importantly for the person you are and the conversations we have as man and people. So that is my heartfelt, I won't even call it an endorsement, my heartfelt sentiments towards you, and for anyone that's wondering who Eric is. So yeah.
Thanks, Stephen. Love you, buddy. Thank you. Guys, everyone have a good evening. I'm going to go out to the beach. There's something called La Noche. I forget what it's called, San Juan, but La Noche, whatever it is. It's some type of ceremony on the beach. I'm going to go out and enjoy. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
All right.
Bye-bye.